The tech and chip stocks started a retreat from recent record highs. For more on this, we want to bring in Gene Munster. He is Deepwater Asset Management managing partner. Gene, any of this surprise you, or what are you thinking about what we've seen?
Becky, it was been a little bit of a surprise given I think that all the fundamentals suggest that this AI trade is in great shape. Of course, the trade-off the past week has been down 10% for the bigger tech, for the bigger chip companies. TSM is up there down 5%. And what I think it really speaks to is investors' concern. We're already jumping forward, already starting to think about how the June quarter is going to play out. So that's kind of the third week in July. So I think that that's the reason why they've been spooked. It is a surprise to me, just given I think all the fundamentals are pointing in the right direction. Recently, Deepwater and our flagship Titan fund, we purchased Micron. They're, of course, reporting this Wednesday, which really sets up for the bellwether in AI for the next 2 months. NVIDIA is not going to report till the third week in August. And so, Becky, I think that I'm surprised about some of the concern. I guess it's warranted given part of the run. And I think this is going to be a great week for AI investors because ultimately, I think Micron is going to exceed that 87% revenue target that they have out there, and investors are going to be more confident in the 50% growth that they have for next year. So feeling very good about AI, the AI trade here.
Yeah, I was going to say, Gene, it seems less surprising if you're looking at a 6-month or even a 1-year chart. Just this massive run-up, the pullback is barely noticed. If you're looking over a longer-term chart, it doesn't even register. Not everything grows to the moon, even when fundamentals are in their favor.
Fair, that is true. And as you said, if you look at, let's take NVIDIA out of the picture and look at some of the other big chip players, they're up, call it 60, 70, 80% year to date, even with that 10% pullback. But it does beg, whenever you have big runs like this, it does beg the question, can it continue? And I think investors, as we go into Micron on Wednesday, I think they should be asking themselves just a fundamental question, how disruptive do you think AI will be? If you're in the camp that the substance ultimately is going to exceed the hype, that's the camp that I'm in. I think that even though we've had big runs here, there's further asset appreciation in the horizon in the next 1 to 3 years.
Although, Gene, you can be in that camp where you think things are going to be very disruptive, but still wonder which are going to be the real winners that come through. And start to wonder, okay, if you have big players like we have to this point, big companies that are willing to spend a lot on AI, does that translate down to mid-level and smaller companies before you see actual benefits? Like there could be a pause before you see everybody else kind of taking this on.
Yeah, I think, definitely, we will see those move forwards, those steps back. And the way we see it playing out is that there's this opportunity on the chip side, the hardware side. Of course, that's been playing out. I think it will continue to play out for the next 1 to 2 years. And then there's this huge gap. And I think that the most exciting pieces that are going on in AI are still in the private markets. They're companies that don't get talked about as much, companies like Andro or Databricks. These are companies that are, I believe, going to be leaders along with OpenAI and xAI in what will be a new class of public companies coming out next year and in 2026. And so I do believe that we are in the early stages of a bull market, still early stages of a bull market in the NASDAQ. May seem hard to believe, but I don't think that that will be created equally. I think that some of those are going to come from IPOs that will be coming out that will be these first AI first companies, which will be really exciting on the software side, which really hasn't participated yet.
Gene, I know you personally own Apple. I just want to ask you about some breaking news from early this morning. The EU regulators are saying now that Apple is in breach of what they're calling sweeping new tech rules because it doesn't allow customers of its app store to be steered to alternatives. The potential fines are huge when you start looking at this. You could be talking about 10% of global revenue that they're allowed to fine up to. We were talking earlier this morning about how that's... How many $1 billion was it?
38. 30 plus.
38? Okay, $40 billion. As an owner of Apple, what do you see when you see European regulators talking like this? We've always kind of worried what China might do, but what about Europe?
Well, Well, the first thing I do is I look at the facts here, and they've said on the last earnings call that they gave at least details that you can back into. It's about 1% of revenue we're talking about. And so that's first and foremost. These are preliminary findings. We're going to get the ultimate findings in March. And this is a chess game that's going on between Apple and the EU. Apple's not going to want to give anything. They kind of came out with this 3-point plan earlier in the year in terms of how to accommodate some of the DMA regulation. But ultimately, I think that as this plays out, they will make some modest changes. It's going to likely have a neutral to slightly negative impact on that 1% of their business. The biggest question you ask, like, how do I think about this? What's on my mind is what's going to happen in the U.S. And there's a whole, of course, another set of regulations going on there. That's a much bigger deal. And then now we're talking about 6-7% of revenue when you look at the U.S. and their app store. And so I ultimately believe that Apple is in a great position in terms of where they're at with regulators. And I think that you're going to see a lot of negative headlines. But this news today won't keep me up at night tonight.